Welcome, friends, to Club Misery, where we review the eeriest and the queeriest of horror. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Audrey3, as always, and I'm here with my co-host, Brannick.
Hey, everybody.
And we have a very special guest this time. Our very own voodoo priestess, Miss Evie, who just agreed to be on our show because we are doing today Voodoo Academy. Say hello, Evie.
Hello, I am a special guest with absolutely no accolades to help this voodoo-ness along.
That's okay. That's okay. Because, I thought we were going to need you for this movie. We'll talk about that because we have lots of questions about this. So many questions. Oh, gosh. So, Voodoo Academy. And it's a short movie. It's only about an hour, 20 minutes.
Could have been a lot shorter.
Yeah, I think it was made in like 2020.
What?
No, not 2000. 2000.
No.
It's made in 2000. Sorry.
This asshole came out 20 years ago. This is not a new movie.
Well, the effects were so good it could have come out today, So.
That is true. Those effects, I love them. They were the best things in the world. This is a 5 Cthulhu out of 5 Cthulhu movie.
There you go. You don't even have to listen to the rest of the podcast.
You heard it, folks.
So, as usual, there will be spoilers here. Not because we need to tell you what's gay about this movie, because it's very gay, but
it
not
is?
at the same time.
What?
There's no romance in this movie. None whatsoever.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
No. But
Lots
there's
of masturbation.
No,
it's not even that. It's not even that.
It's voodoo touchings of oneself, okay? Not even that. They're trying to purify themselves, Evie. That's how voodoo works.
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
So this movie is about our main character, Christopher, and he's going to a college.
Which is the Bodega Bay Inn, right, guys?
I
The
think
Bodega
so.
Bay Inn.
It's a large house. It's basically what it is. Nice house, but it's not a college. Definitely not a college.
A house. It is a fucking mansion. I think I couldn't find it, but I swear to God, it's the Bodega Bay Inn from Puppet Master. But go on.
Probably is. I'm guessing they have this like house out in Hollywood somewhere where they're like, hey, you want to film a movie? And they're like, yeah, okay, you can have it for like, $100 a day, whatever.
Plus, it sounds like Charles Band. It smells like Charles Band. It tastes like Charles Band. I had to look it up, and it's like, oh, he's not the director. He is the producer.
Yeah. So the movie starts off. There's a woman and a boy, and they're getting naked.
Well, not a boy.
Well, no,
a young man.
College. They're in college, so they're 18, but she keeps calling them boys.
Which is gross.
Yeah.
Very gross.
But it's supposed to be. So,
It is 3 minutes of undressing a dude and touching chests, and there are giant Gothic crucifixes.
Yes,
Lots
and there's
of chest touching.
there's a priest in the background too. We're not even sure if he's in the same room, but he's just getting undressed and he's like touching his chest. There's so much chest touching in this movie. I can't even. It's like a quarter of the movie at least is just people touching their chests. Now, if you find that like sexy, this is definitely the movie for you.
Congratulations, you found your pinnacle. This is it.
Exactly. So eventually they get this guy naked and they tie him down. And I thought they were rubbing him down with olive oil. Turns out later, no, we find out that's something else.
See, I knew it was wine. I knew it was wine the entire time because I'm like, why are they rubbing wine? And I have to say, the priest does put on plastic gloves to rub the wine all around him.
Well, there was a reason for that.
Yeah, they can't let it get on their skin.
Yeah. They can't touch the
But
wine.
I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting touch.
But then there's like a light show going on.
They
from
put
their
Skittles.
hands.
They put Skittles on a yam, is what I thought. And that led to
I
pink
thought it was
hand
too.
magic.
I thought it was a yam.
They put Skittles in a yam, and then it's pink hand magic. I think this is the gay agenda right here.
Putting Skittles on yams?
Well, and then there's pink hand magic that comes along with it, and he's all writhing and like, no.
And then he explodes, I think.
Yes.
I'm not sure. It doesn't actually show what happens to him. There's like
It
a
was
noise,
messy.
a
A blood
something
squish.
pops.
And then she says to destroy him, and then the Priest comes at him with a scalpel.
I know, I saw that, and I was just like, tiny miniature little cuts, just like.
Oh man, this is taking me all day. Yeah, and then there's the opening, you guys.
Oh, I love the opening, but we should say, like, she said, okay, this has gone all wrong.
Oh yeah,
our ritual's gone all wrong. We got to get like somebody that's more pure. Okay, then cut to the credits and tell us about the credits, Brannick.
oh my god, it's like the gayest WB show with everyone staring very intensely at camera, and they all look the same, and I loved every second of it.
Oh, over choir music, really pretty choir music.
Yeah, choir music with like these
it was just like headshots and candles and crosses. It was beautiful.
It looks like it should have been an anime at some point. Not a good one, but an anime.
But no, our main character, Christopher, is going to college, and it's called the Carmichael Bible College. And there's only 6 students, which is probably your first indication that you should probably not be going to this college.
It's like the college of like the movie Madman Mars, who only had like 5 students. It's like basically the college of that.
I like how the guy was like, so why are there only like 6 people going here? It's like, because we choose to have it like that, to focus on your studies. And it's like, okay, you don't know how schools get funded and stuff, but it's definitely not through 6 students and a confessional, because we don't actually see them learn anything.
Well, it's all experimental. They're experimenting with this, and then if it all goes according to plan, then they're going to advance and have more students come. But
in an actual campus,
maybe, who knows?
Maybe.
But this is all told through Chris, who asked the question right after it's explained. So she'll be like, "Yeah, the sky is blue," and he'll be like, "The sky is blue?"
Yes,
like,
this was like the worst college entrance interview ever. The shortest, too.
She would step away a little bit from him and explain some more, and then kind of he'll step away from her and then explain some more. It is a strange exposition. But she's got a dead husband.
If you want to do this with your movie, if you're a drinker, do a drinking game where every time you see the boom mic, you take a shot. Because the boom mic is in practically every scene in this movie.
Please do not. You will die. The same with religion or religious, the word. Do not take a shot because you will die.
But eventually I just stopped paying attention and started watching for the boom mic, especially during the long exposition like scenes. Like, I don't care about any of this. But
was the boom mic your favorite character?
Yes, I think it was, actually.
They call him Boomy.
During this interview, there's a long kind of run around like, okay, the main curator of the college is Mrs. Bouvier. And her husband died. Apparently he was studying some sort of weird zombie powder down in Haiti that they use for pharmaceutical purposes. I don't know. He got rich.
So that stuff is actually them talking about, the Wade Davis Serpent and the Rainbow stuff. That's basically kind of correct. Bouvier is the guy who is helping Wade Davis and stuff with his voodoo research. So
wait, Bouvier was an actual person?
I'm pretty sure.
Holy crap, this movie actually got something right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Allegedly his wife was into voodoo, which we will find out later. Allegedly. So here's where I was like, okay, so we got a dead husband, a zombie powder that's for eternal life, this huge ass place. And this is where I thought to myself, where are my goddamn puppets? Where are my gay goddamn puppets? Let's put a pin in that.
You're gonna get some puppets later.
Shut up! I already said a pin!
Okay, pin in the book. Okay, so anyway, Mrs. Bouvier introduces Chris to all the 6 other boys that are in the college.
In one room! They live together in one room.
Yeah.
One small room with lots of chest touching.
They bathe together in one room.
And there was a really long explanation about why they all had the same bathroom too. It's we had showers at one point, they got rid of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what the point of that was. Like, technically they're all supposed to be pure, but they all act really gay. So I don't know if they were like putting them in the way of temptation to try to get them to do something, and if they didn't give in to temptation, that's how they knew they were pure, or what was going on there.
Well, this is during the thing where we learn that there's no porn, there is no drinking, there is no, basically all the
drugs,
good stuff.
No drinking, no porn, yeah.
And
they even say, like, we're boring.
Yeah, actually, I was just about to say, there is a quote that says, "This place is boring," and somebody else says, "We're boring," and I agreed.
But no, our boys are Chris and Billy and Rusty and Mike and Paul and Sam.
Okay, so Chris is our guy. Billy is the class clown. Rusty is working out with, I think, 4-pound weights, but that's how we know he is the tough guy.
Well, that, and he has his shirt off, like, constantly.
Yeah. We have Sam, who is the rock musician, which we never see him play anything. We never see any kind of music, except he's listening to music once. We have, I think, the super religious Mike. I think he's the one that's like
Mike was like he was like the uptight one. Mike was.
And then we have Paul, who we think is going to be the bad boy because they talked about like a rehabilitation thing. But he's just bland.
Well, we never get to see anything really about Paul, so we don't know whether or not he was bland. He might have been the most interesting character, but we hardly got anything with him. So, and then there's also Sam, and Sam's apparently the peacemaker. He's the one that's okay with everybody and everything.
Yeah, he's the rock musician.
I was gonna say, I was trying to look up the Bouvier thing on the internet to double check to make sure he was part of the Serpent and the Rainbow stuff, because his name sounds hella familiar, but like I don't know how to spell his name because it's all French or Haitian or something, so I can't really look it up proper, and I can't see a name similar to that except for the Duvalier.
Good job.
You're the expert here, Evie. So we'll just take your everything you say.
That's some good lookings up.
Yeah, I just wanted you guys to know I don't feed you false information like
fake news. Evie is keeper of the fake news.
For this movie, I don't think it matters.
I don't think it does.
It doesn't. It doesn't. For all I know, I might actually be mistaking his name with the guy from The Princess and the Frog.
Anyway, so then we get to see everybody together because this is when the Reverend, I think they call him.
Reverend Carmichael.
Yes. This is when he's like, this is not a sham. It's totally not. I totally am not trying to sham you guys or trick you guys at all. By the way, this is a confession booth with electricity.
And we should say, there was a very long exposition scene where they're supposed to be like in class, which is like just them sitting in like 6 chairs in like a very, very tiny church kind of. And he's explaining like, this isn't Catholicism. This is neurocentric Christianity, which is supposed to be merging science and religion together into this new form of thinking or whatnot.
Or whatever.
The more advanced technology becomes, the closer to God you become, apparently, is his new age theory. It's supposed to be the religion of the new millennium, as he puts it. And yes, there's a confessional with electromagnetic something. It looks like a Power Ranger crystal up there. I don't know.
It does. And I like how they're like, this is sketchy. And he's like, no, it's not. And they're like, okay.
Yeah. And then when he goes into the confessional with Rusty, the aforementioned athlete of 4-pound weights, it's like 10 minutes of them just bitching to each other. Just straight up bitching at each other, which I found half delightful and half infuriating.
Who needs a plot when you can just have, like, guys just sitting around, like, shooting shit? I mean, honestly, at the college. That's not really college. And
then, what's his face comes out, and he's like, I feel better. I saw a light. The Reverend's like,
we should, cool. Wait. No, when he comes out, we should say how, like, rumpled his, like, shirt and clothes are. They're totally rumpled.
Rumpled.
Yes, extremely rumpled.
A 10 out of 10 of rumpled. And they're like, how was it, dude? And he's like, I feel pretty great.
Are there any confessional booths in Voodoo that you know of, Evie?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's not how that works.
No electromagnetic healing, spiritual healing things, nothing like that.
No, they're not so big into the magic boxes. You know, Voodoo is like a community thing.
So not like just 6 guys hanging around and bitching?
No, not exactly like that. I think there's a lot of chest touching in it, though. You know, it's just...
I might join this religion then.
So then we go to the communal bathing scene where everyone's either like sitting around in the bathtub or sitting around in nothing but a towel. And Billy tells Chris about Blake, who was the guy that we saw at the very beginning of the movie who was getting his shirt taken off and exploded, or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. By the way, Billy is in the bathtub, and the whole scene, I just felt so bad for that actor because I'm like, I hope it's not cold. I hope he doesn't get wrinkly. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's just sitting in that bathtub while everyone's wandering in and out. They're like...
Yeah. And there had to be multiple takes, and they're like, get in the bath, Billy. Get in the bath.
He's just sitting there crying and curled up into a ball. I don't want to be in the bath anymore.
Please, can we just say our exposition somewhere else? No, you cannot, Billy.
We needed an excuse for them to be shirtless. I mean, let's be honest. That's what we needed.
And just with a towel on. I mean, and, they're super cool with this. There's, like, no door on that bathroom, by the way, too.
Well, is there a point to have a door in the bathroom when you're, like, living in a room with 6 other guys? It's all communal.
Apparently not in this place.
Anyway, so that night, Rusty doesn't show up at dinner. And then he shows up later and he's kind of like dressed down. He's not wearing the suit and tie anymore. And he's acting kind of high.
Yeah, that's something I don't understand. Like their pure of heart purification thing just makes them
douchebags.
Yeah, they make them act like super douchebags. Like they're just in those loose athletic shorts and the loose t-shirts. Hey, bruh, what's up? Like, they're spring breaker people or whatever, and it makes no sense how they're pure because they still sometimes talk like dick.
I think it's supposed to lower their inhibitions, I guess. This is the dinner where Miss Bouvier gives them the wine, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
the
first dude who disappeared, he seemed pretty ready to bang the priest. So I think their inhibitions are kind of not there anyway.
I love how at the dinner table they ask Rusty how he feels. And his response is to touch his boobs.
Rub himself.
That's how you know how you feel good in this movie, when you touch your chest. A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Probably, I would say a good 12 minutes if you put it into one cut. 12 to 15 minutes of just rubbing them. We'll get to the whole orgy of rubbing later.
It basically happens after dinner, like when they all go to bed, and then...
Everybody drinks wine except... for Chris. Chris is like, I'll just stick to water. We don't know why. Like, it would be great to have a backstory or a flashback of why he doesn't drink, but he's like, no, I mustn't.
I had the weirdest feeling that the only reason he wasn't is because the place was freaking him out and the people were freaking him out and he just didn't trust shit.
I know, seriously, this is like his first day.
No, I've had weird first days. You just go with the flow.
If it was like Chris's, would you be kind of suspicious about drinking anything they gave you, though? I would.
Nah, I'm like, where's that Kool-Aid?
So anyway, they drink the wine and they go up to bed. And
in one room.
In one room. And Chris wakes up in the middle of the night to basically everybody writhing and rubbing their chests.
Shirtless with just their bottom, their white underwear. I have to also ask at this point, I won't say the name of it, but do you think underwear that everybody was wearing gave money for product placement?
No, because I don't think anybody wants to really be associated with this movie.
Because there was a lot.
I think that was just that was their underwear they came with on the set that day. I'm pretty sure.
Was everybody on Fruit of the Doom? Everybody just in the same undies. And everybody's writhing.
Yeah, and Chris is just, he's up watching everybody for like 5 to 10 minutes straight. He's not trying to wake anybody up or anything. He's just sitting there in bed, like watching people writhe. And
Yeah, he is fine with it. He is okay.
He's sort of, well, I guess he only tries to stop it when the guy goes sleepwalking, huh?
Yeah, because Rusty gets up and he sleepwalks out the room.
He doesn't try very hard to stop him, I guess.
No, he
Hey,
doesn't.
Rusty. Hey,
No.
Rusty. You're sleepwalking.
Rusty, wake up. You're touching your chest to the music of Party City's Halloween Mix 2. Wake up. He does not.
And he doesn't even follow him that time, does he?
I think he follows him but loses him because he just...
Yeah, he like goes in the dining room and like loses him.
It's like the inside of one of those TARDISes, but opposite. It looks really big. It is not. It's like 3 rooms.
So Rusty goes upstairs and Miss Bouvier is there in some like fairly classy lingerie.
You know, and she did
And
a great
she's-
job. This actress, I thought she did a great job.
Deborah Meyer. Yeah.
Deborah Meyer, I thought she did a terrific job with what she was given.
Sadly, she died in 2015. But
Oh, that sucks.
I know.
She must have been pretty young,
I mean,
too.
yeah, she wasn't that old in this movie. Like, I don't know, 30s, something like that. But
Oh, that's sad.
anyway,
She's a weird,
I don't-
gross character in this, though. She
yeah,
calls
she is.
my perfect little boy.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to seduce Rusty, and Rusty's like not really into it so much. I'm not sure what the point is because she wants them pure, but she keeps trying to seduce them at the same time. I don't know. Is there anything about virginity and voodoo, Evie, that you know of?
No, it's literally never really come up in anything I'm looking for except for like in articles where they're saying that voodoo was seducing the white woman away from the path of righteousness. I actually think I have the article saved somewhere on my computer and it's freaking hilarious. And then
When is that from?
Oh, it's a newspaper article from Old Timey.
Okay, all right. I was wondering of the timiness of it.
Oh yeah, it's old timey. You can see like couples of white people going to some sort of voodoo gathering, and then there's this article that's just like the blacks are stealing away the white women, but it's like they just don't bring up the white men.
Is this like the 1700s kind of article, or is it like?
I don't think it's that old. It's probably late 1800s, early 1900s, maybe.
Yeah. Thankfully, racism is no more, right, guys?
Right.
Ha.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she just wants to bone them, but she kind of doesn't. Like every time they don't want to bone, she kind of gives them to the reverend. Like, here you go, sloppy seconds.
The reverend is super pervy. He's super pervy. He doesn't actually like do anything with anybody, but he keeps like putting his hand on their legs and like
in that confessional he was like,
that's later, guys.
Touch yourself.
That is later.
Well, that's what he probably did in the first one.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sure it is.
All happy. He probably was just like straight up went on the other side of that confessional and gave him an old fashioned. I'm just saying.
We are going to talk about the flating of the cross in a minute. Okay. Right before that, because there's dudes again sweating, sexy, grinding, groping, moaning for a few minutes, but anyway, so then what happens? Holy shit balls. This blew my fucking mind. I got my wish, you guys. That never happens. I never get my wish. I had gay puppets.
Yeah, they do the ritual again, and this time it worked. And we find out the yam we thought was a yam in the first, in the beginning of the movie. It's not a yam. It's a voodoo doll. And when they do the light show thing, they rub Rusty down with wine, and they do the light show thing with the hands. It works this time, and then they get like a voodoo doll with Rusty's head on it. And this isn't really a puppet. It's not like the voodoo doll's real, but Rusty's head is like CGI. Yeah, it's like green screen on there.
And he sounds a little bit like Yoshi. Because it's like,
yeah. So is that how you make a voodoo doll, Evie?
No.
Okay.
What? It's not.
I did not. Oh, I'm so
not.
disappointed in this movie now.
I'm pretty sure voodoo dolls are actually like used for mostly in healing ceremonies. You make a voodoo doll of someone who is sick or in pain, and then you stick pins to where the pain or sickness is most affecting them, and it alleviates it.
So you don't use voodoo dolls as sacrifices.
No, or at least they don't grow weird little heads.
Yeah, I was curious about that. If they grew a weird little Yoshi head.
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, I guess scrap this voodoo doll then.
I know, but they have like 5 or 6 more people to go through, so.
And we're like over halfway through the movie at this
We're
point.
fucking halfway through the movie. I am losing my mind at this point. Like we have to go fast, guys. Gotta thin these out.
And things get going faster. Because the next morning at breakfast, Billy's acting like Rusty, He's looking like, hey, dude, how's it hanging?
And everybody is in tank tops, which equates to evil.
Dun, dun, dun.
Apparently.
And everybody has their hair down now. Everybody looks like they're in a boy band from like the early 2000s. And they all gaslight Chris. Because he's like, dude, there's something going on. And they're like, you fucking crazy.
Yeah, and then the headmistress walks in and everyone runs to her side like a lapdog. And he's like, y'all, that's not normal.
But, he's been there for 2 days. So how would he know?
And at this point, I was like,
maybe it's just casual Friday. I don't know.
They all act like they straight up boned her the night before, and she's like acting like, yeah, I totally did them all the night before, and he's just like, what is happening?
And at this point, I was just like, why did their parents send them here? Do they not call them? Do they not write?
They're a very nice Christian school. They don't have to worry about them.
I see.
No, but I love her backstory about what happens to Rusty. Like, because she goes into this whole spiel about how Rusty was smoking a marijuana joint and the cops were called and the cops came and take him away.
They were very quiet. They were all very quiet.
It didn't wake anybody up. I'm like, you could have just said he had a family emergency and left. That would have made too much sense, though,
Yes. Yeah, especially, you're right, because she goes into vast amounts of detail. If you're lying to somebody, you don't want to go into vast amounts of detail. But she's like, I was upstairs and then I smelled the marijuana. And so I went down and it's like a step by step.
I was trying to warn them that, like, you don't want to go down this path of evil. You want to be good, pure voodoo doll people. Okay?
Like we all do.
Yeah, because in class that same day, like Reverend Carmichael comes in, he's like, I have let you all down. I've committed the sin of pride.
Yeah.
So yeah, this time it's Mike's turn in the confessional booth, and we actually get to see what happens in the confessional booth.
My goodness.
Tell us about it, Brannick. Tell us about it.
Oh my, okay. So it starts off with him asking him basically, so what do you whack it to? And he's like getting real hot and he's taking off his shirt and he's like, I don't know.
He's chest touching. Like this entire scene, just assume that every time anything's happening, somebody's touching their chest.
Yep, and the priest is touching his chest and Mike's touching his chest, and then
there's like a strobe light in the confessional.
Yes, because of electricity. It's electricity. It looks like a club, but it's not. And then Mike, yeah. They all sound the same. But Mike starts like heavy filleting this cross on his neck. Like nobody's business. And then suddenly the priest turns into Mrs. Bouvier. Mm-hmm. And she's like, do you want me? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, nope. Did you just not see the cross thing? He is lying to you.
This whole movie, there's like these instances where it's like so super homoerotic, and then all of a sudden the woman is there and it's like
no homo.
Yeah.
We just want to touch each other's chest, no homo.
We just want to touch ourselves in front of this guy. But don't worry, there's a girl there too. So.
Yeah, she's cool. She's good. It's fine. Except with freaking shit, what's his name?
Chris?
No, the dude's already gone. Lance.
Oh, Lance.
There's no Lance. Rusty.
What
That's
Mike call him Lance? Just call him Lance.
I don't know their names. I remember Chris and Billy.
But Chris is freaking out outside the confessional booth. He's like, I don't like this, guys. You didn't see what I saw. There's like something going on up in the attic, whatever. And so Chris opens the confessional booth and the priest comes out and he's like, how dare you interrupt me?
And he's all like rumpled and out of breath. And he's just like, dude, do you not see the tie on the door?
But it was completely heterosexual, I assure you. And then they rat him out. They all fucking narc on him.
Yeah, they're like, Reverend, you need to punish Chris. He has to be punished for, I guess, doubting you or whatever. So they throw him in the bathroom?
A bathroom.
Bathroom.
Not the bathroom, because there are doors on this bathroom.
Yeah, I'm like, really? Well, at least he's got water and like black velvet curtains in that bathroom.
And candles. There's candles in this bathroom.
Well, there's candles everywhere in this house. Like, they don't have electricity, but I mean, they do.
They do, but
like, they do it for the atmosphere, I guess. I don't know.
And then that's when we see, apparently, somebody decides to take a bath.
Paul, that's Paul. There is a Paul in this movie. Paul's taking a bath, and then the Reverend shows up behind him, and it's so creepy. It's so gross.
So gross. He's like, Sam, is that you? He's like, no, relax. Just let me massage your nipples.
Well, he doesn't go quite far that down. He's like massaging his like upper pectorals, up like his like shoulders and upper pectorals, but it's gross.
Very close to the nipples. And then he is like, we gotta, he literally says, basically almost to camera, we gotta hurry this along. And pours wine all over his face.
He just dumps the wine on him in the bathtub, and it immediately turns him into a voodoo doll. And I'm like, why don't we just do this last time? Why do we go through the whole ritual thing in the confessional booth? I'm like, you don't need to do any of that.
I think maybe some are harder than others. Maybe it's like a dragon slave thing from Slayers. Like, yeah, you could do like a quick one, but it's not going to be as like potent as like the whole thingamabob. Maybe. I'm giving it a lot of credit, I know.
I don't know. Evie, you're our expert.
I think there was a porno in this movie that they just had to cut out.
Are you sure they cut it out? I think this is what constituted as porn very early on in the internet days.
I don't know. It was 2000. There was porn way before 2000.
No, I don't think it existed.
No,
it's not even that like porny though. I'm like, it's just people rubbing their chest. That's as porny as it gets.
Yeah, but the actual dick shots, there aren't any, which means they cut them out.
Looking for the dick shots the way that people were looking for the butthole cuts.
There was way more dicks in Vampire Boys, I'll say that.
Dick outlines. Yes, that's true. There were more dicks in Vampire Boys.
But this somehow seems more porny, and I don't know why.
Well, it's
like touching and the erotic way they talk-ish.
Here's the thing. There's so much stuff in this movie that seems like it's a setup for a porn scene that never happens.
You get blue balls entirely throughout this movie. I think everybody does. I think maybe, is that the key to voodoo? Is it blue balls? Evie?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, fuck. I've solved it.
Now you guys know.
So
I'll still join up.
Chris picks bathroom lock with his like cross, his crucifix that he wears around his neck.
Jesus prevails, people. Yeah, that's when he kind of sees what's going on through the cross.
Oh yeah, because Miss Bouvier spies on them at night. She just sort of
they have peepholes in all the crosses.
She just watches their chest rubbing, and so does the priest, except I'm pretty sure the priest gets off a little bit more than she does out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. She calls him my little boy and shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, so Chris sees this and is kind of like, all this stuff is going on, huh?
I know, yeah, because there's another scene of them just writhing in bed, like rubbing their chest. And then Michael gets up and he goes upstairs, and Chris is like standing behind the wall watching him through these peepholes, and he does nothing.
No.
Nothing. He's just watching.
Later on, that's his downfall too.
Yeah.
of not doing anything. He tried so hard to get out of that room, and for what? Nothing.
I know he could have left the building at any time.
He could have, just left everybody. Like, I'm gonna go to the police, or maybe find a phone. Maybe, I don't know, there's internet here. Maybe I could do something with that.
And
this was early 2000s. Internet in the 2000s wasn't the same. It was weird.
Hey, they had
hey, I could download an MP3 in at least an hour. Like
hey, Billy was on that Sci-Fi Academy chat room.
Yes.
But like email addresses and stuff, that costs money to use.
Not AOL, baby.
No.
They send you discs in the mail.
I've had a Yahoo one since at least that time.
So have I.
Yeah.
My Yahoo's from middle school.
So anyway, Michael goes upstairs. He gets turned into a voodoo doll as well. And then Miss Bouvier, we should say during this one, Miss Bouvier turns into a demon of some sort. She gets horns.
Yeah.
And then like black fingernails. And she goes into this like explanation of, we're turning these boys into voodoo dolls so we can have them as a sacrifice to, I'm going to say this wrong. How do you say it?
Patuto.
Patuto. Is that a thing, Evie?
For like, they were talking about like the god of the dead, right?
Yes.
But so there's a lot of, I think they have like different names for people of the god of the dead, but I don't recognize Patuto. Whoever, I keep forgetting the name, but the one, the chick who was in Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, like that was the only one that I knew of. The one that, and also in the movie Zombie Child. I wish I could think of the name, but I'm very bad with names. I don't even remember my friends' names.
You don't even remember my name half the time.
Of course,
I'm your best friend.
Of course, I remember your name, Brannick. J.M. Brannick.
Well, it's
that's
right
because
there.
It's on the screen.
Wow, Audrey, just sell me out.
I fucking knew that. I'm not that dumb. Anyway, yeah, she's a demon or whatever, and she's got like horns, and of course the demon voice, where it's like a guy's voice, but it's like her voice, but it's not.
That was interesting though, because she sounded like a dude after that point. Like the entire rest of the movie, she sounded like a dude, which that was kind of interesting. But anyway, so she actually tries to like seduce Mike, and he's sort of into it. Like Rusty was like, no thanks, but he's the one that's like, yeah, okay, sure, why not?
Let me fillet your cross for you, Miss Bouvier. Yeah, and so she does whatever with him. This is when I started checking out.
Well, here's the thing. She wants to like make a sacrifice so she can gain Patuto's power to like control a zombie army, but she never says what she wants this zombie army for.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, okay, I guess, yeah, it'd be cool just to have a zombie army, just, in case, I guess. I don't know.
And apparently the priest is her friend, but they never go on beyond that. We don't know what really happened to her husband.
One thing that always was really weird to me about the priest, at the beginning when they were like, why are there only this many play sets? Isn't the priest guy gonna join us? And they're like, he never joins us.
Yeah, they were like, he doesn't live in this house, so he never eats here.
Yeah, so I was thinking they were going to do something else with him, like that was supposed to mean something, because that was like a big thing where it's like
nope,
there's so much in here that doesn't pay off.
We had to watch more chest rubbings, you guys.
Honestly, I wouldn't want him to stay there with the boys either, because something bad was going to happen. If he was staying in the house with the boys, obviously something bad was going to happen. But
yeah, Rusty, when it happened to Rusty, we're pretty sure he wasn't trying to do the ritual ahead of schedule.
No.
So that's when she's like, okay, go get Chris, because I changed my mind. I want to have Chris and do this thing with Chris. Let's just get it over with. And he was like, cool. And Chris is at the fucking peephole. We assume that he maybe hears this or something. Nah. The Reverend just comes, snatches him up. Let's go. So they get up there, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to fucking do this. I don't want to do this. They tried to zap him, I think.
No, it's kind of weird because like they're tying him down, getting ready to do this, and he's like very like phatic and like, no, this isn't gonna work. I'm not a virgin.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
The I'm not a virgin thing, and she's like, wait, what? And the guy, he's bluffing, and she's like, I don't know, and that's when he escapes. Although that would have been really funny if he's like, I'm not a virgin. I fucked all of these guys.
I know, that's what I thought I was gonna say.
That would have been a great ending. Like, oh.
Because another thing you have to know, besides the fact that these guys all look the same and you can't tell any of them apart, is that they all just look gay. They just
Evie, you can't say that. You can't.
They're characters. Sorry, their characters all.
There's no type of gay. There's no one type of gay. They're oozing a chemistry between them. I would say that.
Billy did comment on, like, I think it was Rusty's chest.
Yes. Here, where's my notes? Mike. It's Mike. He's like, hey, Mikey, nice chest. He also said, I got the shaft. That was Billy. But anyway, we're not gonna. But you expect there's gonna be something. And that would have been, I think, a really good ending.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, no, actually, when I came here, I fucked everybody the first night. Wait, you didn't?
Oh.
That would have been terrific.
I'm not saying they're all gay, but I'd say at least, like, 4 out of the 6 of them were.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like half of them weren't virgins.
Yeah.
The way they were acting and stuff, and the way
Billy
they were talking.
definitely wasn't.
Billy, no.
No.
Billy, no. He was a little bit too uppity.
But yeah, Chris slips his hand out of the restraint, and then, like, they try to shoot lightning at him or something, and it breaks the wine bottle, and it splashes over the Reverend and Mrs. Bouvier.
Who apparently were virgins.
The virgin thing was actually, like, a requirement. I think they just made that up.
You don't know? I don't think so. I think she's right, because they did turn into the dolls, so I think they were virgins.
Oh, wow, okay.
She was married. She was married, so maybe the Patchouli, the demon, was a virgin. And by the way, when they got splashed with that wine, they were like 15 fucking feet away from that wine.
I know, it was on the other side of the table.
But anyway, the wine splashes. They're all like, wah! And all the guys come out because they're now not dolls.
Well, the 3 that are left, which is like Chris and Billy and Sam, those are the only 3 that are left.
That's fine. So they go into another room because something is going to happen apparently, and they all jazz hands for safety.
I love that. I love that scene where it's just
that was
like
acting.
I know, they kept throwing up their hands in front of them, but it's like nothing was happening. And then there was that one actor who kept, like, it looked like he was smiling or laughing, and he kept, like, looking forward and not hiding behind the jazz hands or something like that. What was it? Was he?
He was just kicking around.
Yeah.
But nothing happens. Nobody explodes or anything.
They do the light show thing.
They do the light show thing, but nothing explodes. So they're like all curious.
Yeah, it was like they did the light show, but they also didn't even have a fan on that was like showing that they were being pushed away or a force was coming out. It was just lights.
Yeah, it was like it was basically the Northern Lights. It was very nice. It was very pretty.
Oh, but what do they find when they go back in the room and check?
Oh, Evie, tell us, Evie, voodoo priestess.
It was a voodoo doll, but a special one with 2 heads. The
That's
priest
right.
and the bouvier.
Oh my god.
It was glorious.
And they
then
both
Chris is
sounded like
like-
Yoshi.
Yeah, they did. They're like, and then Billy says, like, oh, well, that's okay. I wanted to go to business school anyway. The end.
And
That's
they
it.
all
That's
laugh.
it.
Freeze frame. No, I'm just kidding. And credits.
I don't know what happened to the other guys, like, that got turned into voodoo dolls.
Who the fuck cares?
I'm assuming they're still voodoo. Well, I think their parents would care.
I thought that they.
I don't think so.
I don't know why. I had this weird feeling that they unvoodoo dolled. I don't know why.
It never showed them on voodooing dolling.
Yeah. Honestly, it's probably because when the people ran in, I just thought they were the voodoo dolls because I can't tell any of them apart.
I don't know, man. Like, something happened.
No, those were our 3 final girls. So, which
They
I'm
all
not sure
went to
any of-
college.
None of them really deserve to be final girls because did
Not
anything
really.
to, like, prevent their demise. But they're the 3 that survived, and they're going to business college now. Apparently, if they don't get arrested for the deaths of everyone else in the college.
There is a sequel to this, and I hope that sequel is them just going to college.
Wait, there's a sequel?
I believe
I would watch the sequel.
I believe there is a sequel by the director of which you had mentioned, Audrey.
Oh, the other one?
Well, I believe he also directed the sequel, but he has done The Witch House, I should say. He did a shitload of Puppet Masters. He did the 1313 series, which is basically all just shirtless men. And everybody's favorite movie, A Talking Cat.
Yeah, I like that one. There's a riff tracks for that if you have never seen The Talking Cat.
There's a riff tracks for, I think, Retro Puppet Master too.
Yeah.
Which has guy from The Room in it.
Tommy
Not that guy.
Wiseau?
Not
Tommy.
not that guy.
Not Tommy.
The other guy.
I think it's the guy that plays Mark.
Yes, Mark. That's
Yeah.
it. So my question is, from this movie, this is what I've gleaned, Evie, Voodoo Priestess. You tell me if this is correct of what voodoo is. So voodoo to me is shirtless guys writhing, wine being smeared on them, electricity, thunder and lightning, candles, huge crucifixes, loud drum noises, and headless voodoo dolls.
Take out
Percentage-wise.
Yeah, okay. Percentage-wise, I would say you're at like 90%.
Oh, of what voodoo is?
Yes, yeah.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Going to
Would you
join
say
up.
this movie could be a gateway into voodoo if you're looking to get into voodoo?
If you're looking to seriously join voodoo as a religion,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Oh, boo. Boo. I'm so surprised. All right, I have a few questions, if I may
Go ahead.
ask. These are just kind of like, philosophical questions. Just taken from the movie. As I was watching the movie, these are the things that I was thinking. So does anyone else wonder what someone's lips taste like? Because there was a part in it, he's like, I bet you wonder what her lips taste like. And I'm like, that's a funny thing. I've never thought of that. Never questioned that. Okay. Your silence is
I've never really thought of that so much as like if I see food on their mouths, I wonder what they've been eating. Like
Maybe if somebody's putting on lip balm, I might wonder what lip balm they have, but not like what they actually taste like. No.
Yeah, we're not Hannibal here.
No.
Yeah. All right. So this actually had kind of a backwards Bechdel test at one point. When they were in the tub at some point, all the guys were around talking about Mrs. Bouvier. How do we feel about that? Is that a fair turnaround or what?
I feel like they didn't need to talk about Ms. Bouvier at like all. I mean, they were saying how Rusty was probably sleeping with her, and it's like, I don't know, they're too gay to really assume that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't have assumed of all the guys that Rusty would be the one that would be sleeping with her. Yeah. Maybe Mike. I could see Mike, because Mike seems like the kind of guy that would like do it just to like prove that he's not gay.
All right, they brought this question up in the movie. Is the word shit blasphemous?
I'm not Catholic. I don't.
Neither are they. Neither are they.
Well, I think a couple of them used to be Catholic, but they had said they were like dissatisfied with Catholicism. So
isn't everybody?
I will say that if you watch the Netflix show on the history of cuss words,
that's good. Hosted by Nick Cage.
Yeah, shit was a normal word that all of a sudden randomly became an explicative.
Yeah, it basically was like their like old English version of poop. So,
Yeah, so I'm going to say it was not blasphemous.
Very good.
Although I should say, Billy says, like, bullshit is not, like, blasphemous, and then he says, for Christ's sake. So that one might be a little bit.
5 of one, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Okay, do you think the Reverend was turned on by the dudes or just by dominating them and pouring wine on them?
I think he was definitely turned on by the dudes.
Definitely.
Yeah, because remember, he wasn't even doing the pouring the wine thing at the beginning, and he was like taking off his clothes and like rubbing himself. So
maybe that was
just from watching like Miss Bouvier and the kid at the beginning.
Well, maybe that was it. Maybe it was like a lead up. Like he's like, oh man.
No, I think
I know wine's coming
many times before.
That reminds me. Sorry, but it just reminds me how when the guy was like, I'm not a virgin, Miss Bouvier immediately just looks at the Reverend and he's like, he's bluffing.
was a good take. That's a good insight, Evie. Those were all my questions.
All your questions. I don't know how many points on this movie, except to think what role do you think religion plays in the boys' sexuality? Do you think they were all trying to be straight, but they were really gay, and they were using religion as an excuse to I don't know, did they go from say Catholicism to this new age religion to try to expand their sexuality, or what do you think?
Honestly, the way that it is, because sexuality or sex in general barely ever actually comes up in the movie in a way that's condemning it, except for even in the whole they have to be virgins thing. It's well, him not being a virgin would have saved his life. So
did it though? Did it? I don't know. Oh, do you think Chris was lying? That's a good question. About not being a virgin.
No, I don't think he was lying.
I'm going to do a hot take and say that actually, I think in a way, religion doesn't really come into this, I don't think, at all. I think some of them, I don't know, we're just there for, I don't know, who the fuck knows. Maybe Mike, because Mike seemed a lot more into it. But my hot take is that, with this movie, it's kind of insidious in a way, because nothing is expressed, at least even though it's Terror Train and nothing's really expressed, you can see so much going on behind it in the subtext. This is all in your fucking face, but them pulling back at the very last minute.
Do you think it's weird that homosexuality was never mentioned once?
Not mentioned once.
No, not as a thing. They kind of talked about sin in general terms, the sin of pride and the sin of, whatnot and whatnot. But they never talked about the sin of homosexuality ever. They're they never mentioned it as this is a thing that you have to avoid.
Well, you guys, we all have to remember what Jesus said about homosexuality,
which is nothing.
Right. But I think that, because that's the thing, it's the glaring blind spot, it's the complete omission of it. It's it's so in your face and so there, and what kind of movie it is from the first fucking 5 minutes. And you expect at least something in the movie to be where it's okay, this is kind of the direction it's going. Chris and Sam are kind of into each other, and maybe they don't do anything, but there's that understanding, there's that look between them that you're just okay, cool. But there isn't. It is actually one of the most, I don't want to say bland, but it's it's more than bland. It's almost infuriating, because we're not going to even give that wink or give that nod that it is something, of a homoerotic nature. We're just going to turn a blind eye on it. By the way, no homo. Let's keep going. And to me, that is much more, I don't know, a slap to the face than any Terror Train there could be. Or
what
even
did you
Vampire
told
Boys.
me what was it you told me, Evie, when you first watch it? It's the most homoerotic straight movie you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And I don't know, I just wanted that look. I wanted it. It's okay, this is a cheesy movie, but it's it's okay. Give a little wink. It's okay.
I would totally be okay if they remade this film.
Put in a love interest for Chris or Rusty or somebody.
Yeah, because this movie is just fun. It was just kind of fun to watch, and if they actually put substance of some sort in it, it would probably be interesting to watch.
I think there would be more to it. There would be a lot more meat to it, and I think a lot more accepting of LGBTQ.
I like how you guys are if this was a totally different movie, it would be great.
Not a totally different movie. Not a totally
same plot, just give some substance to it, is what you're saying.
Same plot, I would say, same special effects.
Yes.
Same shitty movie. But yes, instead of so many fucking scenes of them tweaking their nips, actually have some character development. Oh, why didn't you drink the wine? Oh, well, actually, my dad was an alcoholic. Holy shit, really? Let's get real with each other. There was never a real moment between them.
What? No,
any of them.
Not at all. No.
Between any of them. The only real moments we got were actually from the villains. We're We're besties. What up? But there was never like a real moment between the guys. It was just all bitching at each other.
I don't know. I felt something when we were having conversations in the tub. So I don't.
But that was the thing. They were just talking about her. They weren't talking about themselves, about their dreams, about their hopes, about their aspirations.
Hey, Chris wanted to go to business college, so.
We get as a joke at the end.
Yes, instead of the proper joke that should have been, I slept with everybody here, or I slept with the Reverend my first night.
And she looks at him like, what the fuck? Or I slept with the groundskeeper. That would be funny. Have the groundskeeper in the first scene and then later on.
I don't know about you guys. I kind of got the feeling this movie was for like teenagers who may just be like discovering their sexuality and maybe want to just try something out, and nothing too hardcore. You know, you're not ready for anything on Pornhub. You just want to watch something that, you know, might be kind of.
There was no Pornhub back then, Audrey.
What, in the 2000s?
No, I don't think there was.
I think there was.
No, I don't think so. We didn't have sophisticated means back then.
There was porn on the internet, okay?
There's
always been porn on the internet.
There has been, and I'm not saying there hasn't. I'm just saying like the download rates were incredibly slow back then.
That's true. That's very true.
There's nothing like we have now. Kids, you have it much better than we ever did. But I think you're right. I think it was maybe for older teens, you know, that because it did have that like WB vibe to it. Like, oh, you like Buffy and you're maybe gay. Like, maybe look at this. And there was still a lot of censorship back then to what you could portray and what you couldn't portray. We talked about this in Bully, you know, of gayness back in the early 2000s and late 90s. By the way, don't listen to that. It's 3 of them long. You don't want to do that with your life. But I don't know. Do you guys want to rate it?
Well, yeah, sure. We can rate it. Evie, you're our guest. Why don't you go first? How many Cthulhus would you give this one?
I already kind of rated it at the beginning, and I will stand by the 5 out of 5. You just have to, I just say, bring your friends, watch it together, lots of wine. Make sure you have lots and lots of wine, and take off a shirt or your shoes. You know, just
wait a minute. This is getting okay. If this is voodoo, I'm in.
Yeah, honestly, from the first 5 seconds of the movie, you kind of figure out what kind of movie it's going to be. And so you'll either just love it for what it is, or you'll be like, I have something better to do. So,
well, I would say this, like I said, this would be a perfect movie for MST3K or Riff Tracks or something like that if they did more
homoerotic.
Yeah, homoerotic stuff. It's that kind of movie. It's the kind of movie you can easily make fun of. And, you know, it's just fun to watch.
What's your rating?
Oh, my rating? This one's hard. I'm like, I enjoyed it, but not because it was good.
Well, that's like half the movies we watch.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I give it 3 stars because it wasn't nearly as painful as Vampires Brighter in Darkness, and I'd say it was like more budget than like Vampire Boys. So I'll give it 3 stars. Like the acting was pretty decent too. It was okay.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5. It was much better than Vampires Brighter than Darkness or whatever that bullshit Egypt bullshit was. Ugh. At least they tried in this movie. And I thought the heads on the things was like, I don't know, it kicked a sense of nostalgia in my heart that I
nostalgia. Yeah. What have you been doing in your childhood?
Watching shit like this, apparently. It made me nostalgic. So, you know, again, I think everybody did their best. Man, the acting was so fucking stunted. It really was. They just line read like this. And now it is your turn to line read. Oh, my turn. Oh, you bitch. You know, it was a lot of that. But again, it is fun. I don't think it's going to be a cult classic in any stretch of the imagination. But, you know,
it's to us.
Oh, I'll still pass on that. But it was a fun watch. It's a quick watch. And yeah.
So do you have any recs this time?
You go, Evie, because you're our guest.
Oh, I didn't tell Evie we had recs.
If you like movies that are as much to do about voodoo as this one was, you can watch the movie called Needle. Needle is about a box that turns out voodoo dolls, and the entire movie is just a slasher movie with the magic box.
Sounds like fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
What's your rec?
Oh, I was going to rec over on Twitter and also on SD. There is a LBGT artist called Star Salts, and she does the most adorable horror movie monster pins and prints and things like that. And you can find basically anything on there. And cryptids. She also does cryptids. Like, she's got all the classics. She's got Jason and Freddy and like It. And she's also got some like really cool ones. Like, oh, you can get your LBT icon, the Babadook. She's got a pin for that.
Oh, that's so cute.
I know. I've got one. I've got a really cool one. It's from the Lighthouse. It says it's bad luck to kill a seabird. It's really cool looking. She even got ones from like more modern day stuff, like the weird Norse god deer torso thing from The Ritual. Yeah, you got a pin for that. If you
I love The Ritual.
Exactly.
And what's the website? Or
Star Salts over on Etsy. Yeah.
Etsy?
Yeah, it's Etsy. That's what I said.
You said Etsy, my friend. Is that the knockoff site?
He's got a whole collection of them. Like the girl from The Ring, the girl from The Grudge, and even the girl from Uzumaki. So she does all sorts of stuff.
dang.
Yeah.
Okay, like a dumbass, I forgot to write down any great LGBTQ people that I would like to plug this week, but I am currently reading a book that I think a lot of people should be reading by Bell Hooks, and because I'm a fan of Bell Hooks, she's great. But it's called All About Love, New Visions, and it is actually all about love and basically how we can be better human beings with it. And I think it's a great story, and not story, but it's a great book, kind of philosophy book for just about everybody.
Aw, that sounds good. I like love.
I'm gonna send one to Evie because she needs a lot more love in her life,
Oh,
or to
wow.
give a lot more love. You gotta. It's a two-way street, huh?
Thank you. I am soulless, not unloved.
Well,
Yeah, I bet she reads Chuck Tingle all the time.
why would you not? Chuck Tingle is
yeah,
amazing.
because love love wins. With
Love-
Chuck Tingle.
Love always wins. Oh my god. I have
Love
drank
wins some days, just not with Brannick.
no.
But Evie, you're our guest, so will you ounce us out? I think we're about done.
Okay. Give peace a chance, and remember
You gotta
that when
ounce.
you're masturbating to touch your chest, because that's the only way it works.
I think
Fair
we should
enough.
end every show like that now.
I guess we're gonna have to. Well, I can't say anything to that.
Well, ounce us out anyway, Brannick.
Okay. Ounce, 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 ounce.